Hey you guys, what's up? What's up? I am Celeste and this is Entrepreneur Her. I'm actually going to do a school update because today is officially the countdown for 10 more days left in school. On the 15th of this month, we are taking our fundamentals exam, and on the 17th of this month, we're going to take our anatomy and physiology exam. On December 18th, we're having a Christmas party, and then we're out of school until January 6th, which is when we'll start our phase one second semester. And we're going to be taking the second half of fundamentals, which there's an update about that, nutrition, and math. We also have, I think, 3 or 4 pharmacy tests that we have to take. And in phase one, I think we only take 1 test and we get 2 attempts at it. Going back to the fundamentals thing. So I've been talking to you guys about completing fundamentals this semester and applying for a nurse extern job. Well, because the program that I'm in is completely organized differently, I cannot transfer any of these credits if I decide to go for my RN or a bridge program. Because of how we do our class hours, I won't be able to transfer any of my credits. So fundamentals is actually a whole year. So from July until May of next year is the fundamental class. We took the first half of fundamentals this semester. Next semester, we'll take the second half of it, doing the vital signs and dealing with the tubing and the IV fluids and stuff like that. And then as of April, I think we start doing our first set of clinicals for phase one students. Phase two students, they've been doing clinicals most of this semester, and that class actually graduates this May coming up. And so the teachers in the classrooms that they're in, they actually have 2 teachers. And I think they do clinicals all day Thursday and Friday. When they graduate, by God's grace, next May, the teachers in the classrooms that they have, my phase one classmates will all transition into those 2 classes with those 2 teachers. And then the new students that come in next year will be with the professor I have now, which is teaching both semesters. Miss Whittington is my teacher for this semester, and she's going to be our teacher for next semester. So right now, we've taken the last test in fundamentals. We are doing the last 3 chapters of anatomy now. I'm actually, if I can. Hey you guys, welcome back to Entrepreneur Her. I am Celeste, and on this channel, we are officially transforming our lives. Like, I'm so excited to be doing this video, so I'm just gonna get straight to the point. As you guys can see from that earlier clip, that was last year, 2025 December. I'm lying. Yes, that was 2025 December, the first semester of phase one. And here we are at the end of second semester phase one. We're not technically fully at the end yet. We got about 7 more weeks to go. Not even 7, I think about 6 weeks, because today officially started our spring break. We don't come back until April 13th. When we come back, we have 5 more clinicals, so that's 5 weeks. And then after that, our class has to attend the graduation of the class that's before us. The class that's graduating this May, it's mandatory that we attend their graduation or it's an absence count against us. And like I told y'all, we get 5 absences for the entire semester and 8 tardies for the semester. And we've already lost one girl because of her attendance. And even though we're at the end, another girl just got warned that she ain't got but 3 more tardies before she'll be dismissed from the program for attendance. And I just think that's crazy, that we get this far and people are not they're on the borderline of being in the program because of attendance. I think that's crazy. It is hard to do it, just because it's Monday through Friday and most of the people in the class are adults, but the girl that was told that, she doesn't have any children. So she do know that, yeah, it's best for you just to go ahead and stay home if you know the day before, because she got 5 absences, but she used 5 of her tardies or whatever, and she stayed close to the school, so I be getting on her. But she does work 12-hour shifts 3 days a week at a nursing home. So because I know I have my days, but I push through just because of my situation. That's why I accept people for who they are, where they are, because I know how hard it is when you're fighting against yourself. When you're fighting against yourself, because sometimes it's not always people going against you, it's not always people sabotaging you. You can be your biggest enemy sometimes, which is why I'm always going to be proud of myself, no matter what type of correction I need, or no matter what type of discipline I haven't accomplished yet. I'm always going to be proud of me, because I'm going to always climb up the hill. I'm always going to climb up the hill. I never look for an elevator. I never look for anybody to push me, though I be wanting it. I don't look for people to push me up a hill. I be proud to go up that hill, and it's the reason why my attitude is the way it is, because as long as I got God, you can't stop me. So there's a certain respect and honor that I can't just give to people just because you're a person, just because I know people will fail you. And that's coming from the Bible. That's not my personal experience with people. I just know when I lock in with God and what He said about my life, despite how hard things are, I'm going to keep pushing, because I know the promise that God gave me. And so it's all about me going through that process, because the ending is already promised to me. That's why I made sure to document this process in school, because I did not have my shit together. I did not have all my ducks in a row. Things were not just perfectly laid out for me just to want to enroll, and now I'm in school. There is a lot, and just being in nursing school, period, a person goes through something. So with my issues in my relationship, with me trying to heal childhood wounds and trauma, so that when I do become a nurse, I'm not robbing Peter to pay Paul. I'm not living paycheck to paycheck. I'm not successful in one place of my life but still feel like I'm struggling and miserable and happy because of another area in my life. I wanted to accomplish God's promise and be fully prepared and ready for it. So yes, school has been very tough, and not the test or nothing like that. Just staying committed to the cause, being in class every single day. Since school started, I've only missed one day, and that's because my truck was taken. Being tardy, I was only tardy once because I had to depend on somebody getting me there. And moving forward from there, I just always, because my name is on the line and I got ass whoopings as a kid, accountability is big to me. Whether I mess up or not, I'm gonna take accountability for my actions, because at the end of the day, I'm pretty much a stubborn person, and I'm gonna do what I want to do, how I want to do it, when I want to do it. So I have no choice but to be a big girl about the situation at the end of the day. So anyway, with all that said, I'm so super proud of myself, because we haven't started math yet, but in nutrition, I got an 81.4. In fundamentals, I have an 84.9 or 84.7. I'm doing so freaking good. And you need an 80 to pass the class, on top of making sure you have all your attendance, making sure you show up for clinicals, making sure we get checked off on our skills. I have to do the trachea. I have to do TED hose and bandage wrap, and we have to do medication pass. Once I do those 3 things, I'm checked off on my skills for phase 1. Like I said, we got 5 more weeks left in clinical, but those are just extra weeks, and I've been checked off on things in my clinicals. That is actually going to follow us to phase 2. So there's not a deadline for the checkoffs in clinicals, but my checkoffs in class, I've stayed behind today, and I did my ostomy bag change and ostomy care, NG tube insertion and irrigation. We had to do bolus feeding and a catheter. There was other skills that we had to perform, but we had already, most of the class did all those. So as of today, we don't come back to school until April the 13th, and I'm so freaking ready. I didn't even care about my fundamentals exam, because I have to take the CNA exam in order to get my CNA license so that I can get a CNA job. But side note on that, I just found a home health agency that's based out of my little tri-state area, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, and they hire students. So I'm on break now, but I'm at work. I'm gonna go in there and finish applying for that application, because so y'all, let me tell you what my plan is. I'm gonna go ahead and take a job at the hospital in my last year of school. Hopefully I can get a job at a hospital. If not, I'll be at a nursing home working overnight, because again, classes next semester will be 8:30 to 2:30. So 7 to 7 or 11 to 7 will be my shift, and I will make sure that with my teacher, 7:30 is the latest I'll be staying behind, especially if I got the job within my area. If not, like now I drive an hour away, I won't even attempt to do the job, just because sometimes you can't leave at 7 when your shift is over, when you're working in the hospital nursing home environment. Y'all, I'm sorry about that light. Hold on. All right, that's better. There you go. Sorry about that, y'all. So I'm gonna apply with that home health agency. Hopefully I can get a job with them, and that would be even better for me, because I decided that I'm gonna work a per diem or a PRN position at the hospital as a LPN. I want med surge just to go ahead and get that experience, and I learned med surge as a CNA, and I liked it. One of the things that I'm struggling with in clinicals is my preceptor want us to be a nurse. So hanging out in the patient's room, helping other patients, being so hands-on with the patient like a CNA, they do not want any of that. I'm going to, in these next 5 weeks, I have to learn how to be the type of nurse that I hated as a CNA. Like, once I check on my patients, I go to the desk and I do my notes. I look at the chart. I research what's going on with my patient, get to know my patient, which I am excited to learn that side of being a nurse, because I'm just so used to feeling like I have to do when I'm at work. So I'm super proud to be elevating in my career to a point where this is the part where you don't work as hard as you're used to working. You work hard in other ways, using your knowledge. So I'm super excited about that. So I am going to do a per diem position at the hospital. I want to do it with med surge. I definitely don't want to be too hands-on. I don't want to be too hands-on with so many patients, just because of the type of care that I want to give. I had a grandfather that passed away in a nursing home. I have a mother who's currently confined to a wheelchair with all types of health issues. So I want to be a caregiver and promote wellness and a quality of life in the elderly. Um, I really want to, of course, have a work from home job because I don't have kids and I do want to travel the rest of my life. Um, but I want to, if I have to pick a field or pick a specialty, I want to be a womb care nurse and a clinical nurse. Like, I want to be very much a part of reviewing charts and making sure that this is the correct care for the patient, following up with care for the patient, especially in the older community. I do want to do home health care as a nurse, just because in the situation that my mom's in right now, being able to leave the house all the time for a doctor's appointment is not something that's feasible for her, and it's not something that she feels comfortable doing, just because she's constantly confined to a wheelchair and she doesn't feel safe, or she doesn't feel comfortable with transportation coming to pick her up and get her to her doctor's appointment. So just understanding where my mom is and wishing that she could have more dedicated care to her, I want to be that nurse to other people. Definitely starting with my mom. So my plan is I'm going to apply for this home health agency. I do want to travel to North Carolina and Georgia this summer while I'm not in school, just so that I have it on my resume. As a CNA, I am going to go ahead and do the womb care certification and the long-term care certification. And I think they have an IV one for CNAs. I'm going to do that one too if they have it. I'm also going to do it for an LPN. But I haven't been able to contact the company via telephone that does the certifications, and I've sent them emails and they haven't responded back. So that's why I haven't paid my membership yet to any I think it's called NAPNES, NAPNES.org, where you can register as a nurse and get your continuing education or obtain other certifications to go behind your LPN or RN initials. So I am going to do that this summer. I'm just going to focus on honing in on being a nurse and obtaining all the credentials and experience that I can as a CNA, so that when I am about to graduate, I'm going to feel really proud to sit in an interview and say, yeah, no, the starting rate is not acceptable. I have this on top of over 20 years experience in various medical environments. I'm not walking onto anybody's job with my LPN credentials before NCLEX or after NCLEX starting at the base starting rate for LPN. That's not happening. So I'm going to do everything in my power to show God that I have faith in the promise that He gave me before I even attempted at doing this LPN program again in 2023. So, because you have to apply for the program the year before the classes start. So in December of in March of 2023, I filled out all the applications and stuff like that. And while the students who did everything in 2022 were starting classes in the fall of 2023, people that applied for the following year were just now taking their entrance exam and doing all of the paperwork and all of that the fall semester of 2020. I said 2023, 2024, because I started school in 2025. But like I said, for the three years prior to 2025, I had been enrolling and not being in place to do everything, because since it's not through a traditional college, like, it's crazy. There's always something to do with just making sure that you get enrolled. And then once you're enrolled into the program, there's so much to do to make sure that you can attend classes when they start that fall. But I definitely would support people doing this program, just because it's cheaper. The most you'll probably pay is $2,500 a semester, and there's 4 semesters. And financial aid does pay, but they don't take the loans. They only take the Pell Grant. But yeah, so when we come back from spring break, we have 6 more chapters left in the book of nutrition, and she's going to split those up into 2 tests. And then we're going to take the nutrition exam in April. And then when we come back in April, we're going to start med math and finish up fundamentals, so that in May we'll be taking our medication pass math exam that we have to pass. We get 2 chances on that. And then we'll have our fundamentals exam, which we have to pass in order to move on to phase 2, semester 1. So that's nutrition, medication pass exam, and fundamentals exam. We have to pass all 3 to successfully move on to phase 2. To fail math med pass, you would have to do this whole semester over. To fail fundamentals or to fail nutrition, you would have to just do those 2 classes over. So whoever fails this semester would have to wait until 2027 January to redo this semester, and then they'll go on to phase 2, and they won't graduate till 2028. Whereas our class right now is set to graduate May 2027. Y'all, when I tell you, time is freaking flying. Time is freaking flying, and I'm so excited that the further I get along, the easier things get. And I checked Roger Hub today, ROGER Hub HUB.com, to see what I had to get on my nutrition exam in order to pass the class. Because even though you pass the class with an 80, you still have to take the final exam, and your final grade in the class has to be an 80 or higher in order to move on. So I have to get a 75.8 on my final exam in order to pass, and the lowest test grade I've gotten in that class is a 76. So no problem with that. Yeah, that's it. And this spring break, I'm hoping to spend it with my best friend since the 6th grade. Definitely give y'all a little bit of foolish of that, but not all of it. Just because when I'm on vacation, I'm on vacation. I don't believe in doing all of that when I'm on vacation. Because this is the only type of like vacations I ever get when I'm with my homegirl, and we really don't do much because she works. So I either be at her job with her because she's a paralegal and she knows her lawyer really well. So I be sitting up there at day job on the computer just doing nothing while she at work. And then once we go home, she don't club or do anything like that. So we just really sit around and do nothing, or she has a boyfriend that takes us out. So yeah, y'all, that's it. That's the update. I will holler at y'all later. Bye.